All right, this week we're going to tell you about the rebirth of the former Kenmore Coffee Warehouse on Frederick Street. All right, so today I'm inside the former Kenmore Coffee Warehouse at 306 Frederick Street with Mike Adams and John Van Zandt. Mike and John, over the past year, have completely transformed this once totally burned out, gutted shell of a building into a beautiful space here in downtown Fredericksburg. You may recall that we did a video on this before this project started, so this is a reunion show of sorts. I'll start with Mike. Why don't you just tell us about what's occurred here over the past year?
Sure, Bill. Thanks again for coming back and being with us here today as we tour this totally renovated and restored part of the city's history. So when John and I took this process on about a year and a half ago, we had a building, as you said, that was basically a ruin of itself. The space that we're standing in now literally didn't even exist. So this has been completely rebuilt on this side. We're going to take a tour through in a few minutes and we'll show you the entire building. And what you're looking at there is a modern window that's got double pane glass and argon gas filled. So it's got all the energy efficient properties that we need today in order for the building to meet the current code. But it also has that historical character that you see with the grille pattern and the 6/6 double hungs. But we spent a considerable amount of time, energy, and money to put this building back to what you see here today. And we're really proud to have it back in the city's inventory for beautiful spaces to rent.
Yeah, absolutely. So the building itself dates back to somewhere in the 19th century originally.
Yep, mid-19th century is the best we can estimate. And it was used as a number of things over the years, including its last iteration as a coffee roastery.
Yeah. Yeah. So John, you were the general contractor on this part of the project, and talk a little bit about what the construction entailed and kind of the building of a building within a...
Yeah, so it was an amazing process. We had to start by taking it all apart, and it was tricky because there was rotted timbers that we wanted to reclaim and reuse in the eventual rebuild of the space. And the brick kind of facade that we see, we use that kind of as the backdrop, and then we brought the steel that you'll see throughout the tour. That's all the new loading and the structural area that the new floor system sits on, and all the structure and weight of the roof load is all transferred through that steel down to new footings and foundations that we poured.
Yeah, well, it looks fantastic. What type of uses do you intend to have in here, sort of short term and then longer term?
So short term, for this current year, we're going to be using the property really for two things. The first will be a construction office for the 17-unit condominium building, which is already underway behind and around the property. Second thing we'll use it for on this floor is actually as a sales and display office. So folks that are purchasing condominiums will be able to meet with us here on site. They'll really be able to get a good sense of what the finished product is going to be like in the new building by looking at some of the things that we're going to incorporate into the sales center. Convert this space to some sort of, I would imagine at this stage, an office use. I mean, it would be wonderful for an architect, it'd be wonderful for an engineering or an accounting firm. It really has a multitude of uses, and one of the interesting things about the way that we designed it was that we could actually have 4 different tenants in the space.
And you mentioned, I guess, the next phase of the project now is a 17-unit condominium building, and then ultimately the final part will be a 4 townhouses along Charles Street.
Exactly, and we're well underway on the 17 units. We expect to have folks moving in December of this year. Okay. So the footers are already in the ground, the walls are going up, all the groundworks are in. So we're at a really vital part of the project now where we're getting ready to go vertical and come out of the ground with the building. And as we do so, we're excited to say that we've got a number of units in the building already spoken for. We've got 7 under contract currently, and we've got 10 still available. And those range in size from 1 to 3 bedroom units.
Okay, great. These two guys are doing some wonderful work to rejuvenate and revitalize the whole city of Fredericksburg, but in particular of late this area right around the train station. So it's great to see the work that you've done here. So thank you from the citizens of Fredericksburg for the work you've done on this building and this project. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Bill.
So that'll do it for this week's edition. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell to get an email every time we put out a new video. See you next week.